Are you wondering what's in store for the 2026 housing market? Well, in this video, I'm going to be covering that as well as the December 2025 housing market statistics for Chaffee County, Colorado, which includes Salida and Buena Vista, Colorado, the largest towns in the county. And I'm going to give you a recap of all of 2025, as well as give you some good insights into what you can expect as both a buyer and a seller in the 2026 housing market for Chaffee County. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. This channel is all about living in the Salida, Colorado area and the housing market here. So if you're interested in that, please be sure and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you're the first to know when new informative videos become available. My name is Monica McCarthy, a realtor that specializes in Salida and surrounding areas, and I get calls all the time from people just like you looking to move here. So whether you're thinking of moving here in a few weeks or a few months, please reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. Let's schedule a time to chat and I'd be happy to help you make a smooth transition to the Salida, Colorado area. First, I want to say Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. I'm going to just give you a brief summary right now of the December housing market statistics, and then we'll move forward with everything else I mentioned. So in summary, this past December 2025 for Chaffee County, our home inventory went down, our buyer demand went down, and our home prices went up some. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I do a deep dive into all of the numbers that support that summary. To keep things a little brief today, since I'm going over other statistics as well, I'm just going to give you an overview, but if you want to see the graphs that support all of those findings and more in-depth information, reach out to me, send me an email. My email's below, and I'd be happy to sign you up for my monthly market updates and send that to you directly. So to recap, the inventory this past December did go down. New listings went down compared to last month and compared to last year, and we ended the month with only 186 active listings, which is the lowest number of active listings we've seen since the beginning of 2025. Now, for buyer demand this past December, only 23 homes went under contract in all of Chaffee County in December, which is a lot lower than we've seen in recent months. And our days on the market went down by 10 compared to last year. So we have a substantial amount of days on the market, which is not very unusual for this time of year though. To close out December of 2025, the median home price for a home in Chaffee County was $725,000. Looking at towns individually, Buena Vista's median home price was also $725,000, and Salida's was $695,500 just for December. Okay, and now I want to talk about all of 2025, and one really good way of doing that is to look at this visual graph, and it shows our year to date, so it gives you an idea of the entire year of 2025, looking at December of 24 all the way through December of 25. The way this graph is broken up is it doesn't have single family and townhomes together. So I'm going to just show you single family homes, but if you want this document emailed to you so you can look at townhomes more closely as well, again, email me, happy to send that to you. So looking at new listings, they went up by nearly 16% this whole year compared to last year. Our sold listings went up by 10.7%. Our median price went up by 5%, and our percent of list price received remained the same as last year at 96.8%. That's still pretty favorable for buyers. And our days on the market remained about the same as well year over year. So in summary, for all of 2025, our inventory went up, our buyer demand went up, and our prices went up. So what does that mean for 2026? Let me give you some of my insights now. This year, it's looking like we still have a fairly balanced market, which is a good thing. In prior years, when it was an extreme seller's market, it was a frenzy. It's not looking like it's going to be like that this year. It's going to be more of a fairly balanced market with our higher inventory. We do in this area have high demand. We are a desirable rural mountain area, and I don't anticipate that changing. So if we have higher inventory and pretty steady buyer demand, we tend to have a bit of a balanced market. So that higher inventory gives buyers more options. Our days on the market tend to be higher in the winter time in our market. And right now, as I said, the days on the market are fairly high. That often continues throughout winter and starts to go down in April and May. So if you're a buyer, keep that in mind. Our days on the market tend to go down in the spring and summer, which means homes are selling faster. So while it is a more balanced market and buyers have more time to look, you do need to keep the overall seasonality conditions of the market in mind when you're looking to buy, and more more particularly when you're looking to make a decision. You don't want to drag your feet too long. But right now, our days on the market on the high end, and I anticipate those going down in the months ahead. I think this year we're going to have a slightly modest price increase, not substantial, just because of the way the market has been. We are on the fairly high side. It's been going up over year. However, because we do have a steady demand here, I anticipate a slight increase, as is predicted throughout all of Colorado, but not a significant price increase throughout the year. And we can expect stable, if slightly improved affordability, depending on our mortgage rates, which are a little bit harder to predict. Right now, we're looking at the low 6s, even high 5s we saw. So if that continues, then it can continue to be more affordable for buyers throughout this year. And so our affordability will continue to be on the more favorable side for buyers, particularly compared to recent years past when we were in the 7s. So if you're a buyer in this market, right now you do have good leverage. In the winter months, particularly in our area, we have homes that have been on the market for a while, and you have sellers that likely want to get out of there, so you can oftentimes find good deals and are more willing to sell and negotiate with you. So buyers do oftentimes have leverage, and you oftentimes have a little bit more time to think. But with our inventory is on the lower end for our market this time of year, and we anticipate more homes coming on the market. That usually happens around March or April. That's also when more buyers come in. So if you're a buyer looking right now and you find a house that works for you that's available now, I do recommend moving forward with it. You can often get a much better deal than if you wait until later in the year. But with that lower inventory, you might not always find what you want, so that's a variable as well. I do always recommend for buyers, do get pre-approved as soon as you start looking, before you actually walk into a house, so you know exactly what you're looking for, and more importantly, that you can act on it if it's a home that works for you. You know you can already afford it, and you're pre-approved, and you can write an offer on it quickly. And so like I said, I do anticipate prices slightly increasing throughout the year. So keep that in mind. That's been the trend for many years here. So if you're a buyer that's been waiting in the wings for the last few years and you can afford to buy a house and you find the right house, I do recommend moving forward with that, opposed to just continuing to wait. You have to ask yourself at some point, what is the cost of waiting? So if you can afford it, I understand that's not always the case, but if you can and you find a good property for you, it is a good time to pull the trigger on that, because prices will likely increase year over year, particularly as we continue throughout 2026. Now, if you're a seller in this market, it is still a buyer's market, so you just need to be reasonable with your expectations. And the best way to do that is with the price of your home. So the best way to know how to correctly price your home is to work with a local realtor who specializes in the market and the home you're selling, so you can be sure and price it well. A lot of sellers think, oh, I'm just gonna price it at this higher end and see if it works. Well, that is not a good idea. Your home tends to sit, and then buyers wonder, why has it been sitting? And so because we're in a market where there is higher inventory and buyers do have more leverage, pricing your home at a good price at the beginning will get your home to sell faster, and you're not going to play the game of chasing the market. So the most important thing, price it well and work with a realtor who can help you determine what that price is. Also, you need to do some work to put your home on the market. It needs to look good and have good marketing. Throwing it up and having it not look good will not appeal to buyers. You want to make a good first impression. So again, working with a realtor who can help you market that property well, take some good professional photos, give you some tips on staging, if not hire a professional stager. So really putting in some time and energy into what your home looks like before you sell it does matter right now, and can make the difference on how many days it sits on the market and whether or not it sells at all. So if you have questions about buying and selling in the Chaffee County, Colorado real estate market, please reach out to me. I'm happy to be a resource for you. And if you would like this monthly market update along with all the charts I mentioned emailed directly to you every month, please email me. I'm happy to get you signed up. All of my contact information is below. Either way, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you have a wonderful 2026.